Manchester United's final revolution. 3 deals have been placed on the club's table, involving a defender, a striker, and a right winger, whose signing has already been settled to strengthen the squad. On the other hand, 4 players will leave the club, some in January, others will depart at the end of the season, and another has refused to renew his contract and decided to leave. Now, let us present to you the players who will leave, and also the new stars expected to arrive. Welcome, my friends, to the BePart Sports channel. Departing stars. Joshua Zirkzee. The player has returned to Juventus's table, but this time with greater seriousness and clearer calculations. After the failure of the attempt last summer, the Italian club has renewed its interest in the Manchester United striker, taking advantage of the change in circumstances at Old Trafford. La Gazzetta dello Sport confirms that Juventus have recently intensified their moves and begun dealing directly with United's demands, rather than working around them. The shift is not superficial. Juventus see Zirkzee as an attacking piece that can be built around, a player capable of linking play and creating space, which is what the team lacks in the final third. On the other hand, Manchester United do not oppose discussions, as long as their financial conditions are met. But the question remains, will Juventus finally succeed in concluding a deal that has stalled for so long, or will the file return to square one? Harry Maguire. The player has re-entered the circle of interest, this time as a low-cost deal. Several clubs are monitoring the situation of the Manchester United defender, led by West Ham United, who have set next summer as a clear target to make their move. The reason is straightforward. Maguire's contract is approaching its end, which makes a potential transfer inexpensive, with the market balance tipping in favour of the buyer. West Ham are not acting randomly. According to Football Insider, the club are waiting to see the player's position on renewing his contract with United before opening any official negotiations. It is a calculated step, as renewal would change all the calculations, while refusal would immediately open the door. On the other hand, Maguire stands at a clear crossroads: to continue under new terms or to embark on a different experience with a more stable role. Casemiro. He sets his direction early, with the American League moving ahead of all others. Journalist Akram Connor confirms that the Manchester United midfielder has the United States as his first option, with Los Angeles currently leading the race to sign him. The equation is clear: a new project, a different league, and a leadership role away from the pressure of European football. On the other hand, the Brazilian scene is present but complicated. Clubs of the stature of Flamengo, Grêmio, Atlético Mineiro and São Paulo are watching and waiting, dreaming of signing the player on a free transfer. The interest exists, but the desire is not heading in the same direction. Casemiro, with his experience and career, looks at the next step from a different perspective. The United States offers him a measured move, while a return to Brazil would mean re-entering a circle of endless competition. Bruno Fernandes. The future of Bruno Fernandes is no longer a postponed file at Manchester United. Speculation between staying and leaving is increasing, and with it, the outlines of the club's position are becoming clearer. The website Tribuna indicates that United are open to selling their captain next summer, but on one condition: that the desire comes from the player himself. The message is clear. The club are not pushing towards an exit, but they are not closing the door. Therefore, United are working to settle their decision before the end of the current season, to avoid entering a hazy summer that would disrupt planning and affect the club's next project. On the other hand, Bruno stands at the heart of the scene. His role is central, and his influence is present, but the team's future and competitive path will determine the final direction. But will Bruno choose to continue and shoulder the next phase, or will he himself open the door to departure? Potential signings. Adam Wharton. Manchester United are moving under time pressure, and the name Adam Wharton has become an urgent priority. The club entered the race to sign the Crystal Palace star early, but the picture changed with Liverpool stepping into the negotiations. From that moment, The deal turned into an open race. Team Talk confirms that United have recently intensified their contacts, trying to convince Wharton with their project and his future role within the team. However, the decisive factor remains outside United's control. The player's preference leans more towards Liverpool, where there is technical stability and clarity in the plan. In contrast, the Reds are preparing to offer a long-term contract, a step that reflects clear seriousness and could tip the balance of the decision. Between United's urgency and Liverpool's steadiness, Wharton stands before a choice that will determine the path of his development in the next phase. Wilfred Ndidi. The player returns once again to Manchester United's offices, but without an immediate decision. Fabrizio Romano reveals that the club have once again been offered the opportunity to sign the Besiktas midfielder at a sensitive moment in the transfer market. United are closely monitoring the situation and are keeping the option to move only in the final week if a solution emerges that suits their needs and conditions. So far, there has been no official step towards Ndidi, the captain of the Nigeria national team. The management prefer a calm evaluation, linking the decision to available opportunities rather than the names on offer. It is a cautious approach that reflects deeper uncertainty in planning. The paradox is clear. The team has numerical depth in defence and attack, but the midfield remains the weakest link. Hayden Hackney. Michael Carrick begins his project at Manchester United through a door he knows well. Upon officially taking up his duties, Carrick moved quickly to identify the team's needs, and the first signal was clear. Hayden Hackney. The Middlesbrough midfielder is not a random choice, but a name the coach knows well after a previous working experience that brought them together. Team Talk confirms that Carrick is pushing strongly to close the deal as soon as possible. The objective is defined and the timing is calculated. The player's arrival during the current January window to cover a clear shortage in midfield. If completed, the deal reflects a direct philosophy. A coach looking for a player who is mentally ready, understands his ideas, and is capable of fitting immediately into the system without a long adaptation period.